Team Adams teaching. Today we are looking at multiplication rules for exponents, part 2. If you missed part 1, go back and watch that one. All right, we are at how do I multiply a power to a power? And again, we're going to think about the things we already know in math. And so it's something like this. If we had 5 squared to the 5th power, that 5th power on the outside means I want to take whatever's inside and multiply it by itself 5 times. So I'd want to do 5 squared times 5 squared times 5 squared times 5 squared times 5 squared. That's what to the 5th power means. Well, within each of those, 5 squared means 5 times 5. So notice we have this written out. There's 5 sections of 5 squared. And then again, when we go to put those back together, notice that we end up with 10 of them. This is 5 to the 10th power. You may already see what the trick here is, or the rule, but we're going to write it factored form first so you can see why it works and how it works in case you get stuck later. So 2 squared all to the 4th power. So I'm going to have 2 squared is 2 times 2, but I want to do that times itself 4 times. So here's 1 time, here's 2 times, here's 3 times, and here's 4 times. And so again, if we want to put that back together, simplified exponent form, this is really 2 to the 2, 4, 6, 8, 8th power. And some of you, again, might notice the numbers we have and the answer we got and can see that rule now. If not, here we are. Oh boy, this is a long one. 3 to the 7th power, and we want to square that. So 3 to the 7th power would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 times itself 7 times. But we want to square that, so we want 2 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again, if we go through and count them all up, hopefully you'll notice that this ends up being 3 to the 14th power. 7 and 7, 14. Okay. The next one, x to the 3rd power to the 5th power, or the quantity of x cubed to the 5th power. And so again, x cubed is x times x times x. That's the inside part, but we want 5 of those because it's to the 5th power. That times itself 5 times. So here we are. This is the 2nd time, and the 3rd time, and whoa, the 4th time, and last but not least, the 5th time. Thought I might run out of space there. Okay. So again, looking at all of those, if we want to put those back together in a simplified exponent form, we end up with x to the 15th power. All right, this also works for multivariable things. Here you'll notice we have x to the 3rd power, y squared, all to the 2nd power. So x cubed, that looks like x times x times x, and y squared is y times y. So that's what's inside. But we want to square that or have that times itself. So I'm going to do another x times x times x times y times y. And then putting it all back together, that's really x to the 3rd power, y times the 4th power. So another one of these, and this is a little bit trickier because it's unusual, but you'll learn these over time as well. And it's a problem of 2 times the quantity of x cubed y squared all to the 3rd power, or cubed. And so at this point, what we're looking at is order of operations. We always do exponents before we multiply. So I need to take all of this to the 3rd power before I multiply by 2, because that's exponents before multiplying. So I'm going to write this is the same as 2 times inside x to the 3rd power is x times x times x. Y squared is y times y. And they wanted 3 of those. We wanted this times itself 3 times. So I'm going to write that out again. X times x times x times y times y. And the last time, x times x times x times y times y. And notice that the 2 didn't get repeated at all. The 2 is not being taken to the 3rd power. If we want to make it really clear, we can put a 1 there. That's its exponent. So there's 2 to the 1st power. Putting it all back together, we have 2 times, and the x, here's 3, 6, 9 of them, times y, and then here's 2, 4, 6 of them, And you end up with this answer of 2x to the 9th power, y to the 6th power. So let's jump down to those rules. So at this point, the rules would be power of a power rule. I always like to think of it as like the distributive property for exponents. If you have a base with an exponent being taken to a higher exponent, you multiply the two exponents together. So it's really going to be m to the m times nth power. You're going to multiply the two exponents together. And then this also leads us to power of a product rule. If there's multiple bases inside the parentheses, then everything gets taken to that nth power. If we consider a being to the first power and b being to the first power, and we multiply that by n, we get a to the 1 times n is n, and here 1 times n is n. We get a to the nth power times b to the nth power. And again, that n gets distributed to each and every variable or number in there, because that's the rule for power of a product. So these are all the rules we have for multiplication rules of exponents. And stay tuned for division rules coming up soon. Bye.